How's it, guys? It's Davey FPL and welcome back to the Deadline with Davey live stream. This live stream is going to revolve around Game Week 20 as the first game week of the new year. So happy New Year's to you guys. Hopefully it was a safe one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I won't lie, from an FPL point of view, didn't enjoy it as much. That Tuesday evening's games were pretty terrible, and then Thursday came around and those were even more boring. I guess we did get a Virgil van Dijk clean sheet finally, but definitely wasn't the game week to start the year. So I'm gonna rule game week 19 out. I'm gonna say game week 20 is the first week of the year, and I just hope it's gonna be a good year. So I do appreciate you guys joining. As mentioned, we're back to the normal Saturday deadlines. We're gonna go back to the midweek deadlines though. I think on Wednesday, Tuesday, as we have another midweek. So I guess it just means more FPL content, which is a good thing. And hopefully more green arrows. I don't know if we're going to be getting one, but let's just see. See a few people in chat. Sid Barber, is saying Leeds. I don't know if you're saying that because I support Liverpool, or you're just saying that because we should be going for Leeds assets from an FPL point of view. I guess both sides of the coin are a good thing for you. Leeds are playing super well, so I do hope that you're enjoying that. Also have Kesh saying, how's it? Tracy saying, how's it from Melbourne? Excited to catch a live stream again. Your team must not be in that bad shape if you're considering to roll. And also happy New Year's to you as well, Tracy. Zadesh is coming in. Let me just actually bring up the chat. Let me know if the audio and the video sound and look Gucci. I did kind of go live quite quickly, so just let me know if you guys are fine and can hear everything. It is a bit hot today, so I do have the fan on if you guys can hear that in the background. So Zadesh is asking, he says, did Gabriel and Minte to Lafi last night? I couldn't afford Paqueta / Tielemans. I just wanted to know what you're thinking behind Lafi over Anderson. Anderson's safer. No, Anderson's safer, but I feel like Lafi is a bit more of a kind of avenue for points. He's got a few more ways that he can score. Yes, the DEFCON might not be there, but he's playing the 10 as current moment, and he's also on penalties apparently. So there's a few more avenues for points from a Lafi point of view, and that's why I like him, and I think he's a little bit cheaper. And even with Paqueta, I don't know if you guys have just seen, but it seems like Paqueta might be a doubt for the game. So that just came out before the live stream actually went live, is that Paqueta apparently is a doubt for the West Ham fixture, which is a little bit annoying if you guys do own him. So if you guys haven't done that move, then maybe just consider someone else. Thanks, Harry. Nice to see you here from the start, brother. Saying, how's it, as well as audio in the video or Gucci. SH is saying, hi, Davey, happy New Year to you too, brother. Hopefully it's a good one. Kesh has asked, he says he's put his team. Bench is weak. Is it worth bringing Gabriel for Virgil van Dijk? So Gabriel's a tough one. I don't think he's an essential pick this week, and I also think that with the Liverpool game coming up might not be that as essential for the next 2 weeks, but I think it's probably a transfer that you want to do anyways. I don't think I would do it for a hit this week. If you guys are looking to do it for like a Virgil to Gabriel, I think that you guys don't have to do that. If you bring in another good option that has good fixtures, like if Paqueta was fit, someone like that, I think that it could pay off. I think Gabriel is a no-brainer for them sort of medium or long term. So that 4.8 might be paid off anyways, but for a single game week in isolation, I don't exactly know if I would do that. So he's not super essential, but in your situation, if you do have a free transfer, I think it makes sense. You probably want Gabriel over Virgil van Dijk for the long term. So if you have it this week, you might as well just pull the trigger. The tough part is though that it would have made a bit more sense last night. If you've already eaten the price rise of last night, he's probably going to rise again fairly shortly. So it is a tough decision. I can't really advise either way. I would just say though that you probably want a medium term, so why not just pull the trigger this week? Vincent saying, how do I deal with Semenyo and Minte with just one free transfer? So Semenyo is tough. I would probably just take Semenyo out and bring in a Gordon, someone like that. I think Minte, I'm gonna chance it. So if you guys haven't seen what the press conference was for the Brighton manager, he said that the scan came back fine. It was just a dead leg. And then he was going to train, as in Minte was going to train yesterday, to see if he's fit to start or not. So we're not sort of talking about, is he actually going to play or not? It's, is he fit enough to start or not? So worst case, he gets a cameo. 30 minutes, 20 minutes against Burnley might not be the worst thing in the world. I'm just going to kind of keep him and hope that he starts this one. A dead leg isn't the worst injury, especially because he was training on yesterday or Friday. That means that he was fit enough to kind of get out on grass. So I'm pretty actually semi-confident that Minter is okay. That's my thinking. It might be completely different to your guys' thinking, so you can let me know if you maybe have different thinking. Play Wilson or Chalobah. I probably would go for Harry Wilson. Liverpool's defense isn't great. I know the Chelsea game does look pretty tough, so I think it just makes sense to sort of just play Harry Wilson. Happy New Year to you, 2 FPL hits. What do you think about Minter to Cherki? So if I didn't do Gabriel, I think Minter to Cherki would have probably been my transfer, or Minter to Szoboszlai. But because we've got this positive news, I'm okay keeping him, and then let's just see what happens next week. But also, I just want to clarify that I've already done a transfer. So I brought in Gabriel for Lecra last night. So I would take it for a hit, and I don't know if it's worth taking a hit for Minter out, especially with the chance of starting. Who's the second move? Connor, I'm probably not going to make a second move. I think this is my plan, and then I'm just going to hope that Keane is fit if Rice misses out and Minter starts. Otherwise, Anderson comes off. So I'm okay. Goodmanson or Van der Berg, says FPL hits. So I would probably go with Van der Berg, but he might not even play. So I think he was dropped last game. So I probably would just start him instead. But Leeds haven't had the worst fixtures, so maybe Leeds. But yeah, I probably would just go for Van den Berg. What do you think? What to do with Calafiori and Keane? So Keane has a chance of starting, so at least he could play. Whereas Calafiori, he's been ruled out. So Calafiori won't be playing this game. So if you can, I would try and do Calafiori to Gabriel. You've basically been given an excuse to do it. And I would even do it for a hit. So if you have to do a downgrade elsewhere, that's okay. This is basically a chance to do that upgrade, and you want Gabriel for the long term. So that would be my kind of answer to that. Any plans to get Rodgers? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't put him in my plans because I'm trying to go for sort of more high priority players. That could be a Cole Palmer. That could be, who knows, who has slightly better fixtures. I think Rodgers is a good option, but at the moment, I don't have a plan for him unless I downgrade like a Cunha or a Gordon. Cunha, a Gordon or Rodgers if you have to pick one. I think Rodgers is probably the safer, more sensible play. I think that you've missed the hard fixture last week, so if you have to go for a midfielder, Rodgers is probably the play. I know I mentioned Gordon earlier, but that's what I probably would say. Why starting Rice over Keane? Probably most likely that Rice gets subbed on. He might, but I also think it's one of those situations where I don't know why he would be subbed on. I know Arteta's not the sort of... He's not the most conventional with plays, but it just doesn't make sense. If Rice isn't fit enough to start, bringing him on for the last 15-20 minutes, he could aggravate that injury yet again. I think if he starts and gets 60 minutes, that still could be okay. And we don't even know if Keane's going to play anyway. So I think I'm pretty okay with what my situation is at the moment. Harry Pratt saying, I've got 12.9 for a defender and midfielder combo. Okay, you're going to make me do my maths here. I currently have Foden, Minter, Cunha, and Gordon in midfield and Virgil van Dijk at the back. Okay, so if we were to bring in Gabriel, that's 6.5, so that leaves you with 6.4. I would have said Paqueta, but he's out with a doubt potentially. So let me just go see if there is another option that is around kind of 6.4. I'm just trying to think, and I think you could get Enzo. I know it's not the best week to do it, but you might want Enzo for more of a long term, and therefore I think that Enzo might be a cheeky punt there if you do want to go for him. I think you have the exact funds. Just correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, otherwise, Paqueta would have been the option, but with the doubt, I don't know. Tielemans is okay. He's also up there. Otherwise, Anderson, Lafie, these cheaper guys. I might actually just go cheap. I mean, there's also Kudos. Kudos is liked by the projected points, but I don't know if I would go there. I think you might just go for Lafie from Sunderland and then just use the money elsewhere, Harry. That probably would be what I would say. I start DCL or Martinez Nunes. I'd probably go DCL. I think DCL is a great shout. He just seems to be scoring against anyone. He scored against Liverpool, but it was offside just. So I think I would go for the attacker. He's in great form. Is Saliba an okay option if I can't afford Gabriel? I would try and get Gabriel Connor. I think that he's better than Saliba, and that's just because of those set pieces. But it also depends on who you're replacing. So I've seen some people with Timber. I don't think I would do Timber to Gabriel. I think I would do Hincapi to Gabriel. That looks like it's okay. But I think if you have like a Timber, I would just stick with him. But I would try and get Gabriel if you can, even if it is from -4. Temba's just saying stat. So let me know if that's another question that is to follow. So let's take another hit. This game week feels awful though. I do feel like Gabriel pays off the hit in the long term though. That's just my opinion. Would we have been better off doing Virgil van Dijk to Gabriel directly instead of rather taking on Minte for a hit, Sadesh? You could, but I still like Virgil because what you're getting from Virgil is getting Fulham. I think there's a chance there for a clean sheet, and then you're getting Burnley in 22. I mean, these fixtures aren't that bad. Maybe you can consider after this. But what I could also say is that if you don't want to go for you could have skipped Gabriel, and you could have just brought Gabriel in around game week 22 as well. So there are different plays to do it. I just feel like get him in. He's going to rise in price anyways. Just bank the -4. It'll pay off in the future. And then it kind of gives you peace of mind, I guess. For a Newcastle defender, Thiam or Hall, since Hall is flagged. Hall is flagged, but it seems like he should be okay. But I think if you're going to be going for one, Thiam seems a bit more reliable, more safe. I still like Hall because I think he's a great player. But I think especially with the flag this week, maybe Thiel's the safer option to do. Saint saying, how's it, Davey? How important is it to prioritize price changes? I'm at a -8 this week before price change. I know these players, I know I want these players anyways. Don't want to pay in a week or two. Yeah, so the price changes is tough because things can change. So by bringing in a player this week, it's also accepting the risk they could be injured this week, next week, that sort of thing. But my thinking always on price changes is I don't think I would chase them too much unless you have like exact funds. If there's more football to be played. So let's say you want to do a transfer on a Tuesday, but Arsenal still play on Thursday before the game week. Then I'd probably just eat the price rise. Make sure that your player comes out of the next game unscathed, whether it be Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, that sort of thing. But if there's no other football happening, I think that you can just take a little bit of a risk and go for that price change. So it's quite situational. And as I said, if you have the exact funds, it makes it a bit easier. -12 or wild card. Okay, that's a tough one. Obviously, I don't have the full context of your team, but it is quite early on in the year. I think a -12 is not the worst thing, but just make sure that you think that these players are players you want for the long term or medium term. Because, for example, as mentioned, I think a defender to Gabriel is worth a -4. I think in a few weeks' time, you're probably going to be happy that you did the -4, unless he gets injured. Touch wood, that doesn't happen. But I think that that's a player that you want for the medium term, and that will pay off naturally. So if you're looking at an option that you want to captain next week or in 2 weeks' time, that could also be a good thing. So I don't mind a -12, but just make sure that it's logical. Make sure that you're not kind of getting really bad players just because you want to afford a Cole Palmer or something. I don't mind hits at this stage of the season. Would you do Richards to Gabriel and Rice to Cherki from -4? Anyway, I can afford Gabriel and get a decent play in return for Rice. Yeah, that's fine, Con. I don't mind it. Look, with Cherki, just understand the risk of any Man City player. I mean, with Doku back, there could be some rotation. Will it be Cherki? Will it be Foden? Who kind of knows? But I think Cherki's in good form, and as you've said, it's an okay sort of replacement. Szoboszlai also in there isn't the worst. Do you think there's upside to change Semenyo to Rodgers or Gordon with one free transfer? Vincent, I think that you're probably going to take Semenyo out in the future anyways. If he moves to Man City, which it's looking very likely, I don't think that you'll be going for Semenyo. So I would do it this week. Just make sure that it's a good fixture, and I think Aston Villa vs Nottingham Forest is a pretty good one. So I think there definitely is upside there. But what you can also do is you can downgrade Semenyo. So let's just say that you do a bit of future planning, Vincent, and you say in 2 weeks' time you want to call Palmer. So how are you going to afford him? That could be Semenyo down to Lafie, which gives you enough funds to upgrade to a Cole Palmer, like a Cunha to a Palmer or something like that in the future. So there's upside, but just make sure that your future plans, your bigger picture plans are also aligned. So Connor, let me just check. Okay, so is there or any other midfielder swap? I only have 5.6 if I got rid of Minte, which leaves minimal options. Okay, I still feel like Connor, though, as long as Declan Rice is back in the short term, I think that he's probably the player that you want to hold more medium term than a Minte. And as mentioned, you can just go for a cheap option. If you really don't like any of the options, then I agree. But like, I think a Minte to a Lafie, a Minte to a Garner, a Minte to an Anderson, those are okay replacements. No worries, Vincent. I don't think I gave you too much advice. I think I just basically told you to plan out your own team. So I appreciate the kind words, but yeah. Marco with the chant, thank you, I do appreciate it. It has been a while since I've seen that one. Andy actually saying, how's it, Davey? Happy New Year's to you too, brother. Hopefully it was a good one. Thanks for the help so far. Oh, yes, to a better 2016 and plenty of... Thank you. Not even a question, Andy. Do appreciate the love. Let me know if you have anything that you want to discuss about your team. I do appreciate the support as always. And yeah, generally, I just hope that 2026 is going to be a better year for FPL. This last year, or this last half of the year has been pretty bad. Is it all that... I think Gabriel is worth it. Look, there is hindsight. There's the hindsight, the fact that he's got a clean sheet, got a goal, massive returns. But I think if you look at his history from an FPL point of view, he's pretty decent. Will Semenyo start if he's signing for Palace? So Sid, not Palace, Man City. But he apparently is going to be starting against Arsenal. And you can almost think from a Man City point of view that probably makes sense as well, because they want to try and take points off of Arsenal as far as possible. And Semenyo is a great player. So Semenyo playing for Bournemouth might actually deliver that. So I would probably say I think Semenyo starts. Ekitike will be an easy transfer out. Cash cow to free up front. Saint, 100%. I'm also looking to maybe downgrade Ekitike. Maybe even switch to like a 4-5-1 formation. And that's going to allow us to do some big upgrades. So 100% aligned. Probably want to keep Ekitike for the Burnley game though, and then see what happens. But yeah, I mean, he's still putting up a few chances, even though Liverpool look simply terrible. Any plans to boost the season? I think what I'm going to do is just play the game and then just hope that our chips hit later on. Maybe a bit of a different chip strategy to maybe the general public or the template, let's say. But I think I'm going to leave that for a little bit of a later stage. And then we can always kind of go against Erling Haaland as a captain if the time arises. It's just tough now because it just seems like there's no other Captaincy options besides Erling Haaland. Start 2, Thiago, Pinot, and Anderson. So you definitely start Thiago. And then Crystal Palace, their fixture's a bit tougher. But I still would probably go Pinot as he's a bit more attacking than Anderson. Anderson's the safe one, but I would definitely start Thiago. And then it's between Pinot and Anderson. Anderson's the safe one. Pinot might be a bit more of a punt. But if you do have a Newcastle defender, then go for Anderson. Bench one of Mukiele, O'Reilly, or Harry Wilson. It's between the defenders. I would play Harry Wilson. I don't think Liverpool are great, and I know that. So it's between Mukiele and O'Reilly. I would probably bench O'Reilly just because there's some uncertainty about his starting position. But yeah, it's tough between those two. I have Rice. Should I start him ahead of Wilson? And I have one free transfer in 0.9. I can't buy Gabriel, but don't know what to do with O'Reilly or take a -4. You could do O'Reilly to Gabriel. You just might have to find funds there. That could be the play to do. But in terms of Rice or Harry Wilson, if you have a player that you think is going to score points and Harry Wilson has that potential, I probably would just go him over Rice. I think if you have a decent player, I just don't know about Keane as well. That's why I'm benching him at the moment. Szoboszlai to Rodgers. I think I might just keep Szoboszlai. I think what's tempting is probably next week because of the Arsenal game. But I think Szoboszlai, there's no reason to sell him at the moment. Kevin, 1 million short for Gabriel. Any alternatives? So the alternative, Kevin, is to take Minte out if you have the same team. I don't mind that -4. Minte to a Lafie, he's okay. Thoughts on O'Reilly and Wirtz out, Gabriel and Rodgers in? I think I would do that, Michael, if I'm honest with you. So Wirtz, he's a doubt because of a tight hamstring, and O'Reilly's a doubt for starting. And Gabriel Rodgers look really good. So I think that those two moves look very strong, especially if they're for free. So yeah, I think that those look pretty good, Michael. I think your team should look quite decent then this week. Would you start Kelleher over Raya? Okay, that's actually a very good question. Thank you for answering that, Agent Smith. This is a great segue for the projected clean sheets and projected goals. So let's go over them. You can see we do have Cherky on the left. That is, unfortunately, he's going to disappear. So let me, unfortunately, Cherky, let me just cut you out of the picture, brother. Okay, cool. So as always, these are from Rob TFPL. He's got his link at the top there, or his at the top there. And you can see that this week doesn't have the sort of super high projections of last week, but we still have some very decent potential clean sheets. So you can see Tottenham's actually a little bit surprisingly have the highest at 41%. They follow closely by Brighton at 40%. So if you have a Verbruggen between the sticks or a Van Hecker, the chances look pretty good there. And then we have a slight dip to Newcastle, 38%. So let's hope that Lewis Hall is fit. Arsenal still 37%, super high, and then a bit of a drop off to your sort of 33%, 32%. And even with Man City, so if you have an O'Reilly, it could actually be better to play another defender because their clean sheet odd isn't the highest. Then in terms of goals, two standout games as of yet, it's going to be Arsenal, Man City. That's why Erling Haaland is probably the sensible captain with his goal share. I'm hoping that Minte is fit because 2 goals for Brighton would be quite nice if Minte is involved. And then Newcastle also have a pretty okay projection, but definitely not the sort of massive week that I think we were hoping for as the first game week of the year. But this would hopefully give you some insight into who to start. So I think we had the question of, is it better to start Kelleher or Raya? And there's a 10% difference there. So I don't think I would be playing Kelleher instead of Raya, to be honest. So just I'll leave these up for a bit longer. Maybe these will help you with your benching concerns, that sort of thing. So Winston, Jalofi is on his 4 yellow cards, but as Yandre said, the after game week 19, the yellow cards have been reset, and now it's 10. So he should be okay. Hi, Philippe. Happy New Year, brother. Hopefully you're doing well. Yeah, so Andre, exactly. It hasn't been reset to 0, but the threshold's been increased to 10. Emmanuel saying, I've Richards that I have to get rid of, and unfortunately added Minte to Paqueta. That's okay. Paqueta is a doubt, but it's fine. So Emmanuel, can you now afford Gabriel? Because that was kind of the thinking. The thinking that I mentioned on Discord was you have to take out Minte to a player that allows you to buy Gabriel. So I don't know. I think some people maybe did Minte to Paqueta, but now they can't afford a Gabriel. But maybe what a better thing would have been to do Minte to Lafi, and then you could have afforded a Gabriel. But yeah, I don't exactly know now what to do because I don't know who else to downgrade at the moment. I think you might maybe just stick with what you have, and then if Anderson comes off. Okay, no, 100% Emmanuel. Like it is what it is now. That's what we have to deal with. I just don't know who I would downgrade now again to afford. What you could do is you could do a Virgil out, but Virgil's going to play. So I think maybe just stick this week, and then at least you're not taking a -4. Let's just say that. I did Minte to Gray. Okay, cool. Thoughts on Minte starting, best replacements? I think I'm a bit more bullish, but I think it's because I own him. So in the press conference, the manager said that he's training on Friday to see if he's fit enough to start or not. So it's not like he's not going to play or not. It's whether he's actually okay to start. And I think that's quite positive to me. So I think I'm okay with that. Abay is saying, I have O'Reilly and Wirtz with 0 free transfers, only 1 defender on the bench with Gay and Rodon. Should I take a -4? I think that you should take a -4 probably. Can you do O'Reilly to Gabriel and Wirtz to Rodgers? Even if it is for a -8, that might look pretty good. As Tracy's saying, like and subscribe. Only if you guys are enjoying it. I don't think it's going to do too much to promote the live stream, as we're about 30 minutes to deadline. But if you guys do want to support the channel, I would appreciate it. Okay, Josh is saying, hear me out. Let's see if Josh is cooking or not. I've done Wirtz to Rodgers already, but I was going to do Hincapi to Gabriel, Saka to Gordon, Thiago to Watkins. Is it worth a -12? No. So Can you do Verts to Gordon, Hincapie to Gabriel? I would leave it at that. I would just keep Saka and keep Thiago. So Josh, just let me know if you can afford that. But yeah, I think you should be able to afford it. Just let me know. I'm going to do some menu to Rogers. Should I just play Anderson at the back or bring in a replacement for 5.4 and a minus for hit? No, I would just probably play Anderson. Look, he's probably going to get DEFCON almost definitely. So that's at least a 3-pointer. And Liverpool aren't defending the best. So I probably would just not do the -4 there. If it was like a -4 for Anderson to Gabriel, then yeah, maybe. But yeah, Garner, good shot. He is a good shot. I do worry though when everyone returns from AFCON, if he's going to be as nailed. I think he should because he was almost starting as a fullback and as a midfielder, so I don't know. He's in great form though, so I don't see how they can drop him with the current form, but who knows. I think until AFCON though, he should be good. I already have Gabriel in my team. My defense right now is O'Reilly, Gabriel, Theo, Rodon, and Anderson. Okay, so O'Reilly's your only doubt, but you do have Anderson, so I would just probably play O'Reilly, Gabriel, and Theo. That looks fine. I do like those other two moves, but I think that O'Reilly's okay because you have Anderson. The only thing you have to worry about is if he comes off the bench, which would be quite annoying. Start Ekdal or Semenyo? Probably Semenyo, and just hope that he does something. If you have double Arsenal defense, though, that's going to be a bit rough if he wipes it out. Start Lafie, Mukiele, or Joachim Anderson. I'd go with Lafie. I think that he's okay. He's an okay option. Thoughts on O'Reilly and Cunha to Gabriel and Cherki? I wouldn't go for Semenyo Baller. Gabriel and Cherki does look enticing, but I still like Cunha. But if you look at the projected goals, it's not looking that good. Leeds have a higher chance of scoring than United do, which is a bit interesting. So if it is for free, then I think those moves do look okay, but I still feel like Cunha is an okay shout. Should I triple up on Arsenal defense? I don't think it's bad to triple up. I would try and go for more sort of set players that I think the best would probably be Raya, Timber, Gabriel. It's fine. I guess it's slightly differential. Most people own two anyway, so what's adding a third gonna do? But yeah, I think it's fine. Winston, if you have Lacroix, Richards, and Keane, who can be transferred to Gabriel? I'm planning Lafie for Minte. So if you can keep Lacroix, that's great. It's probably Richards if you can afford that. Just let me know. Can you afford all of them? That's probably why you've asked the question. So I would probably say Richards to Gabriel. But it also becomes the thing about money. So do you want Lacroix that much? I don't think that the Crystal Palace fixtures are that great. But if you don't have a lot of bench coverage, then I think Richards makes sense there. Best I can afford instead of Minte says, yeah, that's okay. But also Lafie's fine. So both those two players are okay if you're looking for a replacement. Eketike, Minte to Bowen and Rogers is fine, but I think I would prioritize Gabriel. That's what I probably would do. I like the O'Reilly to Gabriel move. It just depends on how you're affording it. That could be Eketike to Bowen. That could also be a downgrade if it gives you enough funds, but I don't know if it will. I mean Sade. Okay, yeah. So I mean, yeah, it could be either of those, but as I said, I would probably prioritize the Gabriel one. Wilson or Mukiele? I'd go for Wilson. Hincapie and Raya to Gabriel and Verbruggen, or Senesi to Van den Berg. No, I like the Hincapie Raya moves. Those look pretty good. Verbruggen has the better fixture this week. It's a great fixture, so I'd probably just go for him. Start one, Mukiele or Van den Berg. Okay, so this is going to be a projection, and Van den Berg is slightly higher. What I will say, just make sure, I swear I saw something on Twitter that Van den Berg was dropped last game. Was he on the bench or not? Okay, I'm going to go back to my team. I think we've had enough of the projected goals and clean sheets. And then let me just check Twitter quickly if anything else has popped up. A lot of people on Twitter are starting O'Reilly though, so maybe it could be okay. The one thing to note though, if Paqueta is out, Bowen could be on penalties if you guys are considering that. That could be quite an interesting one. Okay, I don't see anything as of now. Yeah, there's nothing as of now in terms of early team sheet news, that sort of thing. I doubt we get it. The first game is Aston Villa Forest, which, I mean, I think it's going to be a pretty predictable lineup anyways. I will check Twitter, though, with like 50 minutes to go just to see. I think the biggest thing for me is kind of my bench, like who to bench from my starting 11. I'm pretty okay starting Minte, but it's like, do I just bench Declan Rice and play Keane? That's something that I've been thinking about. Yeah, so I guess I could have done like a Minte out. But with the Paqueta news, that's kind of the player that I was looking at getting. So I think I'm just probably going to roll and see what happens. But yeah, I think the starting and the benching order is always a bit tough. Gid has become a member. Thank you. I think you've just redone a membership. So I do appreciate that one, Gid. Thanks for the continued support. Connor saying I'm stuck. I'm still stuck with if to get rid of Minte for La Fee or Ghana. Not exciting for -4 or take Rice out and get Soboslai or Paqueta. So I don't think I would get Paqueta. I think I would probably edge to Soboslai. Can you afford Cherky? He could also be a good one. I actually like that Cherky transfer. But otherwise, Minte to Lafie's okay. I mean, look, there's no guarantee that Minte even plays this game. I think at least it's a sub appearance. So if he's going to not start, that's obviously a downside. So that's also something to consider. And I guess Brighton have a ton of options. I'm just think there's a chance that he starts. So against Burnley, I've kept him this long, so I might as well just keep him longer. Why isn't O'Reilly starting? It's not that he isn't starting. It's just that he didn't look great in the last game, was subbed off. But apparently with Ake, that he might actually be injured. So Man City might actually be forced to play O'Reilly. That's just kind of the thinking. But you can play O'Reilly. A lot of people, as mentioned on Twitter, are still starting him after this Ake injury news. So he could be okay. But it's still Chelsea. Chelsea could score against them. It's not the easiest fixture. Riley or Keane? I would probably go Keane and then just hope that he starts. I think Keane is safe to not come off the bench. Everyone getting Gabriel, I'm worried. I mean, it's because he scored so many points last week. He's not going to score every single week. Vincent, what I will say though is that I don't know if you saw that stat, but Bournemouth, Liverpool and Forest all have conceded the most chances from set pieces, and that's literally his next 3 games. So, yeah. Has the suspension threat ended for now? Yes, it has. It's been stretched to 10 yellow cards. So you don't have to worry about it too much anymore. MD has been a legend for 35 months. We're nearly 1 month off that 3-year anniversary. Almost 3 years, says MD. I can't afford Gabriel. If I take out Lacroix, I have 5.6. What do I do? Take a knock or transfers to someone in that range? No, I wouldn't take Lacroix out unless you can get Gabriel. Does that mean you do another -4 potentially? MD, just maybe list your team for me as well as your transfers as well as your budget. And that'll just allow me to help you out a bit. But thank you for the 3-year almost. But yeah, just post your team in the chat as well as your budget and free transfers. Worth taking out Anderson. I already have Timber. Okay, Ewan, I'm just making sure. Is it Anderson from Fulham or is it Anderson? Because you've said I already have Timber, so I'm just wondering what you mean by I already have Timber. What are we doing with Rice? We're just going to keep. So the news that came about from the Aston Villa game was that he was trying everything to be fit for that, which means that there was a chance. So I feel like there is a chance that he plays against Bournemouth, but with Liverpool on Wednesday, we don't know. Ewan, sorry, from Fulham. Okay, so you have Anderson. I already have worth taking out. I don't exactly know what the question is. Is like, is it in your starting 11? Is it taking him out like as a for Gabriel? If it's taking out for Gabriel, that's 100% fine. Team same as yours. I have 1 free transfer and 0.5 in the bank. Okay, so if you have this exact same team as me, I think I would just downgrade Minte to Lafi, and that gives you a bunch of money in the bank, and then I would use that to upgrade. That's what I would do. De Kuiper, good pick. Yeah, he's fine. He should start, I think. Let me just check for you though. Okay, wait, maybe not. Okay, so no, he's not guaranteed to play, it looks like here. I don't think I would go for De Kuiper. Just go for Van Hekke if you need a Brighton defender. No worries, MD. Do you play Lafi if you get him, or play Keane with Gabriel? I would probably play Lafi. I'd probably play him over Keane. I did the move from Minte to Paqueta, but that left me with 0.1 short of Gabriel. Okay, that's a bit rough. Okay, let's see. If you take out Keane, how much is... Okay, you can get... Okay, but then Van Hekke's fixtures aren't that great. Okay, give me a second here to find a defender that gives you... That comes in at 0.5 or 4.5. Okay, it might just be going for... It might just be going for one of the Sunderland options, like a Mukiele or an Alderete. I like Van Hekke this week, but after this week it looks a bit rough. So you can just downgrade maybe Keane then as well. That is rough though, 0.1. Was it because Gabriel rose in price last night, or were you 0.1 short yesterday as well? Or surely a DEFCON if Riders and starting comes off the bench, I might... Yeah, I guess, Abe, but what you're comparing there is you're comparing like a 1-pointer to a 3-pointer. So if O'Reilly starts and does okay, then surely that rivals Anderson's 3-pointer. So like it's a bit of a small window there that you're looking at. So I agree with you, and that's the sort of conservative, safe approach to look at it. But also, if O'Reilly starts and keeps a clean sheet against Chelsea, then it could be higher. No. So Ewan, no, 100%. I just wanted the clarity because I don't want to give you some half-ass answer. So, I wouldn't do Timber to Gabriel. I would do the double up though. So I think that double up is perfectly fine. But yeah, I wouldn't do Timber to Gabriel. To me, that's a bit too sideways. Hi, Rafa and Reza. Hincapi starts, or should I get Gabriel? Get Gabriel. Hincapi to Gabriel's a move I think I would do, even if it's for a -4. I think it'll pay off in the long run. Rodgers for Rice or not, and keep Wilson, or I would just keep Wilson, Hashem, and Rodgers for Rice is okay, but I think I still want Rice for the long term. If it's for free, then I think it's okay, but I'm not going to do it for a hit. A keen chance to start. He has a chance, but I don't know what the percentage is. It might be 50-50, it might be less. I would probably say I'm leaning towards him not starting, just because Everton did okay last week, so I think they're going to rush him back. Yeah, when I get it with Virgil. I do feel like there's a chance though against Fulham to keep the clean sheet, and I think there's a chance against Burnley at home in game week 22. So I might be willing to just kind of eat at the price drops if Virgil does get them. Any early team sheet news? Nothing as of yet, I think. Yeah, so no team sheet news as of yet. Who would you bench, Garner, Keane, or Dorgu? I would bench Keane just because there's uncertainty about his starting position. Should I start Potts or Thiel? I'd start Thiel. They've got a good chance of potentially keeping a clean sheet. Potts is okay, but I don't exactly know how high the ceiling is. Watch, he's going to go score a Hattie now. But yeah, I'd probably just go Thiel. Garner plus Collins, which one to bring this week is best? I think maybe Garner because it's a home fixture. How's it going? Start Anderson, Semenyo, or Wilson? That's tough. I probably would go Wilson because you own Arsenal defenders. Triple captain recommendations for future game weeks, Haaland. Okay, so let's look at this. This is an interesting one. I've honestly not looked at this at all. Let me just see if you guys can see the fixtures. Okay, no, let me just dodge out the way here. Let me dodge out the way and let me just extend the screen. Okay. So if we're looking at potential Erling Haaland triple captain options, I mean, Wolves at home is maybe, but Wolves haven't been terrible, but they're not great. I mean, West Ham was a game he did well in. Burnley away is a game he did well in. Yeah, so it's probably the Burnley away game. I mean, I did it in Leeds at home and he blanked, so I don't know. Probably not. Probably this Burnley away game week 34. But also, we might have triple captain options in double game weeks this season. So I usually just wait for the doubles. So yeah, I think we probably just wait for a double game week. If we are actually going to get them, I don't know. Is Paqueta out this week? No, but he's a doubt apparently. And that's from a pretty reliable West Ham source. So, and they play today, do they? Yeah, so they do play today as a doubt, but I don't know what that means. It might just mean a late fitness test. I don't know. Let's just say this. It's not the most positive news, but it's also not like super negative. G-Rid, I mean, potentially, I don't know. Gabriel in for Gay or Konate. Rogers in for Wirtz or Cunha plus for Wirtz. So Wirtz is a doubt this week. I don't know if you guys did see that, but apparently he's only trained once this week because of a tight hamstring. And with Gakpo fit, these sort of players, he might be benched. So I'm okay with taking Wirtz out this week if you guys need the funds. What do you think of me using my free transfers to do Wirtz to Rogers and Rodon to Gabriel? Todd, I think those are sensational moves. I think they're really nice moves. I think that's 100% fine. You can bench O'Reilly. You can play Timber, Virgil van Dijk. That looks good. I'm very jealous of those moves, Todd, because they do look good. As mentioned, as I said, Wirtz is a doubt. I think you can get funds from him. Foden to Cherky and funds for Gabriel. 2 free transfers. Okay, that's an interesting one. I was waiting for someone to bring up Foden because he hasn't been in the best of form. But yeah, comparing Foden and Cherky is tough for me. I still feel like Foden is more guaranteed to play, but I feel like Cherky's in better form at the moment. So I don't know. Wirtz to Rogers from -4. Now you're getting into territory where you basically have to say that you think Wirtz doesn't start. Then it's worth the -4, but elsewise it's close. I can go and check projected lineups for you. And then we can maybe see what happens. Yeah, so Wirtz is very slightly... He's starting in this projection. Let me see if I can find... Let me see if I can find Liverpool. Okay. Okay, so Wirtz is a 58% chance here. So yeah, I think that, I mean, it's tough to say, but I think that if you need funds, Wirtz is okay to take out. Okay, last thing is, do you think the team looks okay in terms of benching, or would you guys bench someone else. Would you bench Rice for Keane? I think I've got it okay. I think I've got it fine. Any updates on Hawes? He should be fine for the week. What about going for Saliba over Gabriel and getting Paqueta? MD, so Paqueta's a doubt, and I don't like Saliba over Gabriel. Just keep breathing. Yes, we do have the chocolate mug. Let's hope it's good luck this week. Made can't figure out if I have to get Tarkowski for Riley for a hit. I don't think I would do it for a hit. I don't like defenders for a hit. I've got Saka. Feels like a similar thing to Foden. Form isn't great and taking a lot of budget. That is true, but I think you keep Saka because the fixture this week's okay and the projections look pretty high. But I do agree with you. I think if Palmer does look good, I think a lot of people are going to do Saka to Rice. I think that's going to be an easy one. Start De Kuiper or Dorgu? I'd start Dorgu because apparently De Kuiper is 50-50 about starting. Start Keane, Thiaw, or Van der Ven. That's tough. Paulie, if you looked at the projections, Tottenham are actually top for clean sheet odds. I'd say for me it's between Van der Ven and Thiaw. Let me see if I can... Yeah, so it's literally tied between those two. So, good morning to you, Paulie. I think I might just edge... I don't know. Maybe Van der Ven? It's close between them two. Because Van der Ven offers some attacking threat, so that's why, but it's very close between them. Let me just upload my team to Discord quickly, and then we'll have about 8 minutes of absolute quick fire round questions. So get your questions in and I'll answer them. Okay. Okay, cool. Start Gravenberch or Minte. I mean, if you have Minte, I think you start him. I'm hoping for a start. I mean, maybe even if he doesn't start off the bench is okay, but yeah, it's a tough one. It is a tough one. I think if I maybe had a better player, then I'd look at starting him. So Gravenberch is close. I mean, maybe because he's guaranteed to start, you just play him. Okay. Can't get Gabriel, what to do? If you can't get Gabriel, then you can't get Gabriel. It's not like the end of the world. I don't think he's essential at the moment. I think he's essential from game week 22 onwards potentially. But this week it's fine. If your defenders are okay this week, it's fine. Any plans to bring Saka in? Probably not. Unless like Rice is out for a very long time, then maybe. But at the moment, I think I've made my transfer. Should I start Wirtz or Enzo? Wirtz has the better fixture, so maybe just start him. Who do I bench? O'Reilly or Anderson? I'd bench O'Reilly and I'd just play Anderson. If it's Anderson, not Anderson. If it's Anderson, then I'd play O'Reilly. What do you think about Mukiele or Gay to start? I'm fine with both of them starting. I just have Gordon, so I'm hoping that he scores. So in that situation, if you have like a Gordon and Mukiele maybe. Who's better, Rodgers or Guimaraes? I think if you can afford Rodgers, you probably go for him. I can't get Gabriel in last night. I got Paqueta for Minte. Should I play Lecra against Newcastle or Keane? I'd play Keane because then you're getting a better fixture. Verts out for Gordon, Cherky or Kudos. Can you afford Rodgers, Devon? He's probably the one to look at. Theo or Soboslai? I'd play Soboslai. Delot, Alderete, Senesi, Anderson, Riley, in what order? Okay, so I'm assuming when you guys say Anderson, Vernon, I'm presuming you're saying Anderson, so the guy from Fulham, because that's with an E at the end. So if you're talking about all your defenders, I'd say Delot is first. I'd probably say Delot, Alderete, Riley, Senesi, Anderson. Voltamide replacement, he might actually start this one. So, but if you look at a Voltamide replacement, I'd go for Bowen. I think Bowen, Luke. Bowen is probably the outside punch here. If Paqueta's out, Bowen's on penalties. That should be quite good. Would you play Minte over Grealish? Isn't Grealish still a doubt? I don't know on that one. But if Grealish isn't a doubt, then I'd start him. Can Sunderland keep a clean sheet against Spurs away? I do feel like they can, Nigel. Is Dorgu okay? Dorgu okay to start over Hall and Keane? I probably would play Hall over Dorgu. And then I'd play Dorgu over Keane, though. Minte and Richards to Gabriel and Lafitte, or Richards and Anderson to Gabriel. I do Richards and Anderson. Richards and Anderson to Gabriel and Alderete. Is Keane injured? He's a doubt. No worries. He's just a doubt. So we don't know if he's going to play. There was a chance. Haaland, captain or Iketika. I think you have to go for Haaland to run. Liverpool don't look great. Liverpool don't look great at all. No worries, Vernon. I was happy I could predict what you were trying to say there with the Anderson versus Anderson. It's just sometimes a bit tough. I took a -8 to take Semenyo out for Bruno G and Richards to Gabriel. I transferred Haaland early. Disaster. No, I don't think it's a disaster, Will. Haaland the best Captaincy option. I do feel like it. If you look at the projected points, I think he's pretty clear. He's not super clear, but he is clear on the Captaincy sort of margins. Chasing mini league position, captain Saka or Cherky. If you're going to choose one, it's probably Saka. The reason for this is, so basically what you're saying, if you captain Cherky, you're saying that Man City, you expecting Man City to do well, but Haaland not to. And the chance of that is probably quite slim. So I'd rather just completely go against the fixture and go for Saka. I think that's more differential. That's way more differential. Yeah, so Keane, exactly. That's why I think Keane won't be rushed back, because last week Everton did pretty okay. So it's not like they desperately need him to come back at centre back. I do feel like he's a good option, but yeah, I don't know if he is going to start. Buy Rodgers or Bowen? I mean, this week Bowen looks really good, so it's probably Bowen, but I think it depends what it means for your team structure. Will Minte and Rice start? I mean, I hope they both start. I don't know if they will. A differential captain, probably Bowen. Who to start, Wilson or Semenyo? I think Wilson slightly, because you probably own Arsenal defenders, Winston. Checking Twitter quickly for any last information. I don't think there's anything. No. No, I don't see anything. Will has left his 47th month, nearly 4-year legend membership for the last thing, saying good luck this week, Davey. From today, surely the season starts to come good for us. I think we still can win it. That's all I'm gonna say. We can still win the competition. But thanks for the continued support, Will. Looking forward to next month with your 4 years. No worries, Dr. Hover. Start O'Reilly or Stash. I think Stash is an interesting option. I think I might go for him. I think that Leeds are actually playing pretty decently. Okay, Mick. Yeah, I don't know. The Verts to Rodgers, that could be okay from -4. I don't think you have to do it because of Virgil van Dijk to Timber. I think it should just keep Virgil until his Burnley game. So I think the -4 is okay, I think because of Wirtz's doubt. So I think I would just do that, not because you have to kind of bring in Virgil. But I am late. Kevin Mann was the first. We have Marco with other emojis. Maybe I should have considered that one. But it is, unfortunately, TUPD time. So, time up, pens down. If you know, you know. And that's going to conclude another deadline stream. Game week 20 could be quite good. Cash, you've come in late with the thoughts on getting Bowen. I think I like it. I think he's probably the best other captaincy option this week, especially if Paqueta's out. It means that he's on penalties. So let's see what happens, though. I mean, it's an interesting week. I think I'm heavily reliant on sort of ambiguous fitness updates. If Declan Rice doesn't start, if Michael Keane doesn't start, we're going to be Anderson deep. So let's hope that Minte at least starts this one. That would be a little bit of a boost. Great fixture as well. But if he does come off, let's see what happens. But thank you for joining this deadline stream. Usual Saturday. I'm going to let you guys go and enjoy your weekend, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you guys are around the world. And I'll see you guys for Game Week 21 content, because from now till Game Week 21 is only a matter of days. So you don't have to miss this voice too much. But for the time being, I'm going to be signing off. Cheers. Bye.